Good evening, Primetime Squad. How's everybody doing? And actually, I don't want to use this overlay tonight. Let me see. Where's my other overlay with the phone number? There we go. There we go. This is the overlay that I want to use tonight because it has the phone number already on the bottom of the screen, so I don't have to keep repeatedly typing the number in the screen. In the chat for those who might happen to want to call in. So, how's everybody doing this evening? I hope everybody has been enjoying their day, enjoying their week. As you can see in the chat, in the title of the video, we're going to be discussing the case and the trial and the disappearance of Tyler Ty Thomas. We have received some updated information today, and a lot of people are keying in on it, giving their opinions on what's been going on as of late. So I figured I'd come tonight and discuss it with you guys and let everybody know what's going on. Now, for some of you who might not know what's going on or might not know what happened to Ty Thomas, I'm going to give you some background information first, because I know this has been a big subject, a big topic here in the Midwest where I'm from, because the girl Tyler, I'm going to just call her Ty by her nickname. She had disappeared in 2010. So this is 2019. It has been 9 years. This December 3rd, would be 9 years since her disappearance. And it happened she disappeared from Peru State College, again, like 9 years ago. And ever since then, her family has been basically totally sure that the person responsible for her disappearance and most likely her death was a Joshua Keto. So I'm going to give you the information, the background information, and then we're going to talk about, what was in the news today most recently. But Tyler Ty Thomas, she was a 19-year-old freshman at Peru State College here in Peru, Nebraska. Most of you guys know I live in Omaha, Nebraska, so Peru State College is in Nebraska, my state. And again, she disappeared December 3rd of 2010 after leaving a party. Now, what was said to have happened was basically a lot of people are alleging, like some of her friends or classmates were alleging, that this guy, Joshua Keto, he had been trying to get with her, trying to hook up with her, and she would turn him down and, try not to have nothing to do with him or whatnot. But one night, December 3rd, 2010, they were at a party. And it was said that, they were drinking. It's a college party. It's not like it doesn't happen. And they were drinking, and some say that she was drunk. Not my words, but, this is what some people say, that she was drunk. I'm sure, it's probably a lot of people, tipsy there at the party. It's a college party. So, but anyway, and they said that, Tyler was given a ride by Joshua Keto. At that time, he was 29 years old and she was 19. So you see the big age difference there. He's 29, she's 19. He had given her a ride. Now, that was the last person that she was seen with. And when she had went missing and, people were looking for her, and her friends, her classmates, her family members, when they were looking for her, they found out that he was the last person that was, seeing her alive. But in the beginning, he was telling people and the investigators that he was, not with her that night. He even had one of his friends, he tried to have them lie and say that, he was with them. that night. So, right up front, he was, lying and trying to cover up something. But anyway, the police, they were pressuring him, and, they were like, well, what about your cell phone? Your cell phone got hit, over in this certain area. And you talking about you was with your friend, over here. And so then that's when, after being pressured and, by the investigators, that's when he admitted that, yes, she had left with him after the party. They had sex in his car at the Missouri River boat launch, and he said that he had left her there after she got angry. The reason why he's saying that she got angry was because she had accused him of raping her. And so what he did was basically, that's the whole reason why he's saying, I didn't, he didn't tell the investigators, at first, what had happened, and that he was with her there, and he ended up leaving her there. Like, he took her out there and he left her there, and he claims it was because they had got into an argument and he just left her out there, by herself. So that was his reasoning for why she disappeared. He claimed he didn't have anything to do with it. Her body was never found. And in 2013, they declared her dead. And, since this is 2019, 6 years after they declared her dead, and her body still hasn't been found, more than likely investigators think, and a lot of people close to her think that, she is dead. And they believe he had a lot to do with it. They believe Joshua Keto had a lot to do with it. Now, as far as him, again, he was the last person to see her nearly 9 years ago. She was a 19-year-old freshman, Peru State College. He was 29 at that time. Come to find out later that he was lying about his age as well. This man was literally lying about his age. And he was telling, the students at the school that he was hanging around with that he was much younger than he really was. Hey, Miss Betty White, how you doing? Hey, how you doing? Just updating you guys on the Tyler Thomas disappearance from 2010. Again, Joshua was the last person to see her alive, and he was, a fellow student of hers at Peru State. He was charged a while back with her murder. But, the defense team, they had kept saying, there's no body. How can, we can't charge him. There's no body. And then, they was like, well, okay, there's no body. But basically, they deemed that the prosecutors had enough information. They had enough information to go ahead and charge him for murder. So he was charged for her murder, even though they did not find a body. Now, they did wait 7 years to charge him. They charged him in 2018. So they did wait 7 years. 2017, I'm sorry, to charge him. But again, that was mainly because, his attorneys kept, arguing that there was no body, there's no cause of death. They said there wasn't any circumstantial evidence, to show that she was even murdered. They was like, she could still be alive somewhere. She could have had an accident, because where he took her, to the Missouri River, basically, he claims he left her there. So, they're arguing, maybe she fell in the river. Maybe she had an accident, and so they didn't want, they was arguing against, him being brought up on charges for that. And they also was like, there wasn't no premeditation or no evidence of premeditation, which is like a big key element of first degree murder. So, but anywho, the Nemaha County judge found that the prosecutors had enough, said they had enough, evidence to support that Thomas is most likely dead and that a crime led to her murder. So then what happened was in late February of last year in 2018, as the case moved closer to an April trial date, Pickens and Matt McDonald, Joshua's co-counsel, filed motions seeking to suppress evidence in the case that was obtained through federal and state search warrants. Now, yeah, yep. And they said that they were, trying to get his phone records, his cell phone records tossed out because they claimed that the FBI agent, who got the warrant, alleged that the federal crime of kidnapping provided the basis for it, but there was no evidence that Keto or Thomas had even crossed state lines. But anywho, they got the records, and during that time they also had searched his Ford Explorer, and in 2010 and 2016 they had searched his Ford Explorer, but they claimed that they needed that thrown out too because they were saying the scope of the warrants was too broad, like they were too overly broad. Hey, Maurice Smith, how you doing? I've been missing you too. Thank you for popping up tonight and joining me on this live. I'm just discussing a little background information on the Tyler Thomas case. It's a missing 19-year-old who went missing in 2010 here in Nebraska, in my state. But, the defense attorneys, their main objection, to the later search was basically saying, the investigators didn't tell them that, somebody else had claimed, that she could have been murdered by someone else. Now, here, this is what happened. There was a lady, and they didn't say who her name was, but they just said there was a lady who had stated that she had been in a prostitution ring, and that the men who was holding her had told her that, if she tried to escape, the same thing would happen to her that happened to Ty Thomas. Now, the investigators, they was like, well, it could be possibly true. It could be true that this lady was, in fact, kept as a, prostitute and was being trafficked. But they didn't believe that that's what happened to Ty. So, basically they threw that out and everything, and it was like, nah, we're not going with that. We're not going with that. They still believe that they had enough evidence to charge Joshua Keto with murder, and that's what they did. So now they've been trying to, throw out all this evidence, his telephone records, the search warrants for his car, search warrants for his house. They're trying to throw all this evidence out because of the fact that they saying that information, as far as the girl who was saying that she was trafficked, by in a prostitution ring, they saying that they kept that, from out the trial, and they kept that information, to themselves, and they saying that the defense should have known that information, that there was somebody else that they could look at who may have possibly done harm to Tyler Ty Thomas. So that's the whole reason why they're trying to get that evidence thrown out. So this has been an ongoing situation. The story, again, a lot of you guys probably heard about it. You might have, but it's been so long since it first, the story first came out, since Ty first went missing in 2010, that, some people probably, forgot about it. And how sometimes if you don't hear things, in the news or in the media about a person that's been missing, then it kind of just, it goes silent. It goes silent. So I thought I'd, discuss this today because, there was some new information. It was in the news today. And basically what they were saying was, let me go down here to my notes. Oh, and hey, did anybody else come in that I didn't say hi to? Okay, Betty Wright. See you later. I see you back in a minute. But yeah, as I was saying, the defense attorney's, main objection, to the searches was that the investigators didn't tell the judge, that there was omitted information, material omissions, deliberate falsehoods, reckless disregards for the truth. But they still kept that information in there, but now they're trying to push the trial back because they're trying to throw that information out of the trial. And they're also trying to move the trial to a different location because where this happened and where he's, been locked up for a while, he don't think that, and it's common, when it comes to the defense team, if it's a huge, big case, there's been a whole bunch of public scrutiny, a whole bunch of public media, outrage from the community. Sometimes they figure like if they move the trial somewhere else, they would get like a more fair trial per se. So as far as, the information that's came about them moving the trial today, a lot of people is not happy about that at all. They want this man convicted. They want him in jail longer than what he's already in there, because what I didn't tell you yet was he has been in jail already and he's serving 25 years. The reason why he's serving 25 years is because 2 years after Ty went missing, she went missing in 2010. 2 years later in 2012, he was convicted of sexual assault against a 15-year-old. A 15-year-old. And he was 29 when he was accused of, doing harm to Ty. So when this happened, it was 2008. So in 2008 was when that's the charges that he faced in 2012. That's the charges that, place him behind bars for 25 years. So in 2010, Ty went missing. In 2012, 2 years later, he was convicted for a 2008 crime, a sexual assault against a 15-year-old. Now, the reason why it took that long, because mind you, the 15-year-old, he assaulted her in 2008. But the reason why it took so long for them to put him behind bars and charge him for that was because the young girl at that time, it was a party going on. She had got drunk, and kind of just like with Ty, he had made advances to her, over and over, multiple times made advances to her, but she wasn't feeling him. And in this situation as well, the 15-year-old, it was the same thing. He had made advances to her, and she wasn't feeling him. She wasn't trying to kick it with him, be with him. But he waited until after she was drunk and passed out, and that's when he raped her. So he got 25 years for that. So right now, Joshua is already in jail. He's been in jail. But Ty's family, with these charges that he's facing now, I'm sure they're hoping that they stack a whole bunch more years on top of that 25 that he's already facing. Now, again, there's nobody right now, but excuse me. Again, the judge, said that the prosecutors, he believes, has enough information to go ahead and charge him. So that they did. They went ahead and charged him for her death. And also another thing, as far as her family goes, her family, truly convinced, and their attorneys truly convinced, the investigators as well, that he is responsible, for her death. They went ahead and they tried to sue the school. They tried to sue the college, because they figure, this man, they should have known, like, that he wasn't safe to be, on campus, with all these other kids, all these other college kids. But it came back that he got thrown out, basically saying they had no idea that this was going to happen. They had no idea that, Ty or anybody else would be, in harm's way from him living on campus, because he stayed right across from where Ty stayed. So that was thrown out. But they went ahead and they did sue him personally. They did sue him personally, and yes, they did win. Now, will they get anything out of that? Probably not. Probably not. You know, he's going to be in jail for the next 25 years. So I can't see him making any kind of money to be able to pay her family, you know, any damages, you know, from what he did. And by the way, as far as, you know, excuse me, as far as the money that they sued him for, it was in the billions. The billions. Again, that money is not getting paid. I mean, if anything, they might get chump change because, you know, when you're in prison, you know, even if you get to work, it's more than likely that the money that you receive is only like a few dollars a day. And then if you do owe money to people, they do take that money and they do, you know, send it to the people that you owe. But this is a $2.5 billion verdict for a wrongful death civil lawsuit. So again, the family, they're not expecting anything. They know that they won't get anything, you know, from him. And that's cool because they said, you know, basically the win, you know, the win that they did get is going to help keep her memories alive. So I know they were grateful to win that, even though, you know, they probably will never see a penny, might not ever see a penny from this man. This man, of course, for all this time, he's been basically saying he didn't have anything to do with it still. Blaming it on somebody else could have hurt her. Blaming it on she could have had an accident, could have fell in the Missouri River, anything like that. But just because the first evidence that they had, the first sign that he was lying and probably guilty was when he lied and told the investigators that he wasn't with her that night, and then come to find out after, you know, checking phone records and stuff, he was like, oh, okay, yeah, we went out, but we had sex in the car. They both, you know, agreed to it. He said it was consensual. They had sex in the car, but then afterwards, she started getting enraged and arguing with him and getting combative because she told him that he raped her. So come on now. If it was consensuous, why was she just up and, oh, you raped me, I'm going to go tell. And she knows she probably needed a ride back because, you know, they were at the Missouri River, you know, away from the college. So, of course, she needed a ride back. So she had to ride back with him. So I'm not thinking, this is just me, and I'm sure the prosecutors and the investigators probably came to the same conclusion that he did rape her. And in fact, she put up a fight probably during the, you know, the assault. And then he just immediately, you know, harmed her even more and discarded her body. So I don't believe, and a lot of people, you know, don't believe his story. It wasn't believable in court, and that's why he's being charged for it. But as far as right now, we don't know as far as the trial being moved or not, because right now they're trying to get the trial moved to another location again. I'm sorry, I'm checking this message out that somebody just sent me. Okay, I'm sorry. I was supposed to, yeah, a lot of y'all probably was wondering, weren't you supposed to be on a panel this week? That was actually supposed to be tonight. I thought it was September 1st, but it's actually supposed to be today, August 31st. And because today is Wednesday and I had thought it was on a Thursday. So I was supposed to be on a panel tonight on the Grand Central Station panel. But when I had went on to Joyce, you know, Joyce is over the Grand Central Station panel. When I had went to her live earlier, because she was live on her channel, and I went to her live and, you know, I was talking to her in the chat and she was like, I'm not feeling too well, you know, so we're not going to do the panel tonight. We're not going to have a panel discussion tonight. So I meant to go live earlier and record a quick video to let you guys know there would be no panel tonight. So when she feels better and lets me know when she wants to arrange to have the panel, then I will let you guys know right away. I'll let you guys know as soon as I find out. But yeah, so basically, now his his defense attorneys and him, they believe that the trial should be moved. Right now, he's in Nemaha County. And, they want to move it to the courtroom in Beatrice, Nebraska. Because, they believe, first of all, the local conditions and pretrial publicity would make it really hard for them to secure a fair jury. He also believes, a venue change will give him a fair trial, impartial jury, and due process. So he's looking for a new venue right now. And also he was like arguing that the Nemaha County Courthouse doesn't have adequate facilities for a high profile trial. So we shall see. This has been, the trial has been a long time coming for the family. So for them, I don't know how they probably feel about it right now, being that the trial has to be pushed back like 5 more months because, they're still trying to throw out evidence, cell phone evidence, his vehicle, his Ford Explorer, searches. They're trying to throw out stuff like that, all because of a lady who had came forward and said she was involved in a prosecution ring, and that the guys who kept her and forced her, to stay in that ring had threatened her and told her, the same thing happened to you that happened to Ty. She's disappeared. Nobody knows where she at. There's no body. The only thing that they did find was tire tracks at the Missouri River, and then they saw drag marks, along the bed of the Missouri River. Not the bed, but along the the side of the Missouri River. So again, that's pretty much what they have, that we know. Now, there's a lot of more information that they're not going to release to the public, of course, until they actually go through with the trial. So I'm hoping that the trial will, proceed quickly. But as far as what they're saying right now today, it's going to be another 5 more months, and they're trying to get it moved from Nemaha County. So we shall see. And of course, when I find out more information, I will come back and let you guys know and update you on any information on a new trial date, everything pertaining to this case. So with that being said, Primetime Squad, I want to thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you hit the like button. If you have not already hit the like button, make sure you hit the like button on the way out. Also, make sure you share this video if you had a capability to share this video. And in the meantime and in between time, Primetime Squad, make sure you stay safe, be blessed, and I'm out. Deuces.